Today on People Now, Jane Fonda's epic romances, mistakes, and legendary career. It's this week's People cover story.
Drake is suing a former lover for alleged extortion. We'll tell you what we've learned.
Justin Bieber gives Hailey Baldwin a serenade fit for a queen at Buckingham Palace.
It's a girl. You think? Hey.
Ellen treats Carrie Underwood to some of her psychic pregnancy mojo.
Plus, we're live with co-star Brett Young.
It's all today on People Now.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to People Now. Great to see you. Look, Christmas, it may be a few months away, but it's coming a little early for all you Game of Thrones and Crazy Rich Asians fans, because Emilia Clarke and Henry Golding are actually going to be starring in an upcoming Christmas movie together.
Which is so exciting. So in honor of the news, we want to know, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Is it A Christmas Story? Is it Elf?
Yes.
It's A Wonderful Life? What about the ultimate tearjerker, Love Actually?
Elf and Wonderful Life are tough for me. So anyway, you can vote in our People Now poll or our People poll. Just tweet us your favorite Christmas movie with the hashtag People Now. We will check in on those responses a little later, but for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. The legendary Jane Fonda graces the cover of this week's People. The 80-year-old actress, activist, and icon is opening up about epic romances, her mistakes, and how she's changed. She's the latest star to get the HBO documentary treatment. Jane Fonda in 5 acts premieres September 24th. Ahead of the film's premiere, she sat down with People and EW's editorial director Jess Cagle to talk life, love, and what she's learned. Take a look.
Up until my 60s, I was, to a large extent, defined by the men in my life. You know, I was brought up to please. I wanted my father to love me, and so I would turn myself into a pretzel to be what he wanted me to be. And it just took me a long time to get over it. You know, we're born, and usually we don't get to choose our parents. And so there are issues, and there are wounds, and there are handicaps, and you spend the rest of your life trying to get over them. And it took me into my 60s. And then I began to become who I was supposed to be all along.
Wow, so great to hear her speaking so candidly. We'll have even more from Jane's sit-down later in the show. She's opening up about her painful past and how she's learned to move on, so stick around for that. But now we move on to this. Drake is suing a woman who claimed he got her pregnant and sexually assaulted her. The rapper is alleging that she made the whole thing up in order to extort millions of dollars. Drake filed a lawsuit on Tuesday against Laquana Morris, a New Yorker who works in the adult industry under the name Layla Lace. He's seeking unspecified damages for civil extortion, intentional infliction of emotional distress, abusive process, fraud, and defamation. As stated in papers obtained by People, Drake first met Lace in February 2017 during a stop on his Boy Meets World tour in Manchester, England. The two then went on to have consensual, protected sex in his hotel room, including oral sex she, quote, voluntarily and seemingly happily performed, according to the lawsuit. The suit continues, stating the two maintained a texting relationship. Screenshots of the alleged messages show Lace seemingly trying to pursue a relationship with Drake. The rapper eventually stopped responding, causing Lace to allegedly contact a mutual friend, saying she purchased a flight to see him, but had to cancel due to his lack of response. She then supposedly posted a now deleted Instagram saying she was pregnant. She wrote, quote, "After you tell a dude you pregnant, they stop answering their phone." Now, from there, the lawsuit claims Lace posted another Instagram threatening to leak messages with the rapper. She also gave an interview that same month, repeating allegations that Drake impregnated her, in addition to hiring a lawyer to demand he pay money for the alleged baby. Now, Drake's lawyers said he would support the child if it was his, but requested a paternity test, while Lace allegedly refused to take the test. That's what Drake's lawyer said, responded, "There is no credible evidence of pregnancy." According to the lawsuit, Lace made criminal allegations against Drake the following month, saying he assaulted her in Manchester and forced her to perform oral sex. The rapper was ultimately cleared by Manchester police, but that didn't stop Lace from demanding payment of millions of dollars in exchange for her silence. Her final alleged threats caused Drake to file the suit. Lots to unpack there with this story. We'll keep you updated on it on people.com. Guys, Justin Bieber is doing what he does best in the Queen's front yard. Check this out. It's kind kind of how it all began, right? Can you imagine walking down the street, minding your own business, finding one of the biggest pop stars in the world, just casually strumming on his guitar singing, no big deal. That's exactly, though, what happened to some lucky Londoners on Tuesday, where the Biebs was spotted singing with a guitar outside Buckingham Palace, the official residence of Queen Elizabeth. In addition to telling his now wife, Hailey Baldwin, that he loves her, Bieber serenaded her and a growing group of fans with an acoustic version of his 2016 hit, Cold Water. The pop star was dressed for the occasion in black shorts, a multicolored tie-dyed sweatshirt. He loves those things, the hood pulled up and over his head. But no, we still knew who you were, Biebs. Meanwhile, Baldwin wore a monochrome gray sweatshirt, chunky gold hoop earrings, and a scrunchie as she supported her beau. She was even seen snapping some photos or video of the performance with her iPhone as she looked on. Now, the pair, who legally tied the knot with a courthouse wedding in New York on September 13th, traveled to London on Monday for her Adidas fashion show. They've been spotted packing on the PDA ever since, sightseeing around town, even making a pit stop at the landmark London Eye. Speaking of Buckingham Palace, stick around, guys. Our royal correspondent Imogen Lloyd-Webber is here with all the details on Prince William's busy week, plus the continent that he's headed to next. That is all coming up in just a little bit. But Andrea, you have more for us in Star Trek.
Yes, I do. We are kicking off Star Treks with a psychic prediction from Ellen Degeneres. Carrie Underwood stopped by the Ellen Show on Wednesday, and even though the country star stayed pretty tight-lipped about the gender of her new baby, Ellen has some thoughts.
It's a girl. You think? Okay.
It is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And when you come back here and we talk about it after it's a little girl, I'll say it was a girl.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. But you did say it's a whole new ball game, which indicates it could be a boy. It's either a girl or a boy.
It is. I think that's an accurate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Ellen. Carrie also got candid with Ellen about her accident last year when she fell up the stairs and caught her face on the steps, calling for nearly 40 stitches, and why it took her so long to open up about the incident.
My biggest worry kind of at the time was that if I say nothing, then later on, I feel like people are gonna, because people pick apart. I mean, you know what that's like, just kind of being under a microscope. And I was like, I feel like people are kind of gonna say, like, what has she done to herself electively? And it definitely was not a choice.
Right.
But you know, I feel close to myself. You know, I feel pretty close to normal.
Porsha Williams is having a baby, and it's been a long road to parenthood. The 37-year-old Real Housewives of Atlanta star is expecting her first child with boyfriend Dennis McKinley, telling people, "We weren't planning to get pregnant, but after praying for so long, it's a blessing." The Bravo star suffered a miscarriage during her marriage to Cordell Stewart back in 2012. Soon after, she opened up about having surgery to remove uterine fibroids, a condition that affects pregnancy and fertility. Williams says it's a dream come true to be pregnant again. She can't wait to meet her little boy or girl. Big congrats to Porsha. And those are your Star Treks for today.
Stay with us, guys. Jane Fonda opens up in an exclusive sit-down about the tragic death of her mother when she was just a young girl. Plus, Brett Young joins us live in studio talking about his new album and touring with Thomas Rhett.
All right, but first, let's take a look at the results from our People poll so far. In honor of Emilia Clarke and Henry Golding's upcoming Christmas movie, we've been asking what your favorite Christmas movies are.
All right, looks like Elf takes the lead. I'm so happy about that. Love Actually number 2.
You know, I really like Home Alone.
That's a great one, too?
That's my choice.
All right, we'll keep doing the voting. We'll get back to that poll a little bit later, but now we move on with this.
Yes, in this week's People, Jane Fonda opens up to People and EW's editorial director Jess Cagle about the tragic death of her mother, Frances Ford Seymour, when Fonda was just 12 years old. Listen to this.
When I wrote my memoir, I dedicated it to my mother, who killed herself when I was 12, because I knew that if I did dedicate it to her, rather than sweep her under the rug, I would be forced to really try to figure her out. I never really knew her because she suffered from, well, they called it manic depression in those days. Now we say bipolarity.
Fonda has spent a lot of time reflecting on her relationship with her mother and the impact it's had on her life. Here's what she revealed.
If you have a parent who is not capable of showing up, not capable of reflecting you back through eyes of love, it has a big impact on your sense of self. And as a child, you always think it was your fault, because a child can't blame the adult. They depend upon adults for survival. And so it takes a long time to get over the guilt.
For more of Jane's interview, you can watch the Jess Cagle interview on PeopleTV, streaming right now.
All right, guys, it's been 3 months since the tragic passing of chef and television host Anthony Bourdain. And when Andrew Zimmern stopped by, he took time to remember his late friend. Take a look at this.
Tony was so unvarnished, and he really was the most charismatic human being I've ever met. Everyone wanted to be around him. And he was, I mean, just a symphony of a human being. And he could talk, you know, obscure 1970s, you know, New York City punk music with you. He could talk about 1950s second wave, you know, French cinema with you. He could talk about street food in Malaysia.
Andrew also opened up about the last conversation he had with Bourdain. Here's what he said.
In fact, the last time that I saw him before he took his life, he was telling me about pursuing my own happiness, and he gave me this long sort of speech about it, that I deserve to be happy. And I was like, that is so great. Where did you get that little nugget? I sort of joked with him, and he said, from you blankety, 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 blank, because I had said the same thing to him about 5 years earlier, which is great, because sometimes you even know things yourself, but you need to have a friend repeat it back to you. He was epic, and in every sense of the word, and I think he's one of those people, when they're writing about culture today, now, 100 years from now, they'll be talking about him as well.
Just on a day-to-day, is there something special that sometimes reminds you of him?
All the time. He sent me, I always gave him a lot of grief about his desert boots. At a certain point, he was wearing cowboy boots a lot early on, these beige, you know, sort of beigey leather cowboy boots for the first 4 or 5 years that we were friends. And then he kind of switched over into his like sort of desert trekking boot. I call it the desert trekking boot era. Like Picasso had his blue period, Tony had his, I do it by footwear. And he thought that was so funny. He sent me a pair that I have. And I look at them every day that I'm home.
That's country star Rhett Young's latest single, Here Tonight, and the man himself joining us right here. Thank you for being here, Rhett. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
We're very happy to have you. Now, you just dropped Here Tonight a few days ago. So when you drop new music, what kind of nerves do you have going on? Are you checking social media? Are you trying to stay away?
Yeah, no, so I'm super conscious of the way people are reacting to it, but I think new music at this point, because we live with it for so long before it comes out, it's kind of like you buy somebody a Christmas gift 4 months before Christmas,
right.
And you're already like over the excitement of giving it to them until Christmas Day comes, and then it's exciting again because you get to. So that's kind of like the way I feel about a new song being out, is that people finally get to react, and I get to, you know, we get to. It's super nerve-wracking, but you get to find out how it's connecting.
And you've gotten some good reactions?
I think so, yeah. We've never come out with like a real up-tempo song like this before, so I think end of summer was the right time, and it seems like people are enjoying it.
Yeah, new energy for that, for sure. Your sophomore album, Ticket to LA, it's going to be out in December. So the title makes sense. You're from Southern California.
That's right.
What initially made you want to kind of get into the country game? I mean, SoCal's not the country scene, right? Obviously.
It's not, and it's more so now than it was when I left.
Even then, yeah.
But I mean, I started listening to country in the early 90s. I heard Tim McGraw, Don't Take the Girl, and I kind of fell in love with the story, and then the more I listened to country, the more I realized country music is all about the story, and I've kind of just been a nerdy country music fan ever since.
That's like one of my favorite songs, by the way. Don't Take the Girl by Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
Love Tim McGraw.
Good luck.
It brings up the tears every time, right?
Yeah. After living in LA, you moved to Nashville. So when you got there, were you accepted right away? Was there a sort of California boy initiation? What was that process like?
I was actually nervous about that. You know, what are people going to think of this California kid trying to make it in country music? But that's actually my favorite thing about Nashville, is how kind of accommodating and welcoming the country music community was and seems to always be. And so I was pleasantly surprised by the kind of welcoming that I got.
Not only the industry, just the people in Nashville. It's such a great city. It really is such a friendly city. How's Ticket to LA going to be different from some of your previous music?
You know, I'm in a different place in my life. I was heartbroken when I wrote the first record, and I'm happily engaged to be married now. So.
And you got the necklace to prove it.
I do.
The T, there it is.
With her everywhere I go. I bring her with me everywhere I go. You can feel the different place I'm at in my life. It's happier. There's more up-tempo music, but also just topically throughout, it's happier, and I think it just feels good.
I love that.
There's a lot of the same stuff from the first record, and a little bit of something for everybody, but I think you can feel.
Yeah. I want to ask you about this. You were on your social media. You posted this serious throwback with Carrie Underwood. You guys met over 10 years ago at a Dodgers game. That's crazy. Did that day kind of spark a lifelong friendship?
You know what? That's the only time I've ever seen Carrie in person.
You're so close.
We've like sat 4 rows apart at award shows and stuff, but that's, you know, that was during her season of American Idol.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a great throwback, though.
Isn't it a crack up?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's like, yeah, we're so close. Haven't seen her since. You're currently on the road with Thomas Rhett, country superstar, of course. He seems like such a great guy. His husband, dad, got the whole thing going for him. What have you learned from Thomas Rhett, from getting to know him?
Well, I think the coolest thing about Thomas is that it would be really easy to think that's a facade and that's something that they're intentionally putting out to social media, and that's just not the case. They're as cool and awesome of people and of a family as you know, social media kind of projects. And he's been really great to learn from, not only on stage but off stage, and kind of the person that he is, and the way that he runs his camp, and the way that trickles down and affects, you know, an opener in my case. And so I think he's just a good dude, and what you see is what you get with him.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the necklace. T is not for Thomas Rhett. It is for Taylor, your fiance. So you guys are tying the knot in November. That is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the must-haves that you had, that you needed to have at your wedding?
I wish she was here to answer that.
That's why we're asking you.
Yeah, right.
You know, she's the must-have.
Okay.
But you know, we really wanted to. The location to be somewhere where both of our families could make it, and you know, when grandparents start getting older and stuff, you want to make sure that they can be there. And so we wanted somewhere warm, and we wanted to be able to have our whole family there. And
So where is it?
Southern California.
SoCal. Okay, yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah. Nice.
Any suit preference? Like, are you going full tux, or is it more like laid back, like a blazer?
I'm full tux.
Full tux.
This is the first time I've ever been had a custom tux made before.
Really?
Is it a country theme?
The welcome party the night before will be.
Okay.
Oh, that's fun.
I like that.
But we're going black tie for the wedding.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna be a little fancy. When you see her in the dress for the first time, do you think you're gonna cry?
100%. I cry when I think about it.
Oh, really?
Oh, you've heard my music. I'm a mess.
So that depicts the real man too. We're not trying to rush you here, but when you look ahead to the future, do you dream of a big family, kids, that whole kind of thing? Is that there?
Yeah, I think that, you know, the older I get, the number gets smaller. When I was younger, I thought I wanted 4 kids for sure. I think we're probably gonna have like 2 or 3 though.
Yeah.
God willing.
Exciting.
Well, you guys are adorable. Congrats on
Thank
everything.
you.
So,
Thank
Brett,
you.
thanks for stopping by. And you guys, Brett Young's album drops December 7th, so keep an eye out for that.
Well, guys, Prince William is out and about in England this week with a jam-packed itinerary that even includes a sweet nod to his mother, Princess Diana. Here with all the details on where he's been and where he's headed next is our royal correspondent, Imogen Lloyd-Webber. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
The royal purple, got it going. We're matched
absolutely.
up. All right, let's start with this. William's busy day on Tuesday. Where was he, and what stops did he make?
Prince William visited Birmingham and Stourbridge in the English Midlands on a multi-stop tour. First up was the University of Birmingham to attend Skillforce UK's Prince William Award graduation ceremony. The national education charity teaches character and resilience in schools. Prince William became its patron back in 2009. The Prince William Award scheme runs for a period of 36 weeks in schools across the UK, with workshops and community projects run by Skillforce instructors. Many are ex-servicemen and women. After handing out awards, Prince William sat down with some of the new grads to talk about what they learned in the programme. As he left, the royal dad of 3 was given some unique dinosaur colouring books for Prince George and Princess Charlotte and said, "I'll be the most popular father in the country tonight." Prince William then visited the Acorns Children's Hospice, a specialist care centre for life-limited and life-threatened children and their families. It was opened by Princess Diana 30 years ago, so he was there to help celebrate their special anniversary. As part of the visit, he toured the hospice's specialist facilities, which include a hydrotherapy pool, and met some families who frequently use it. Prince William later unveiled a statue of Major Frank Foley at Mary Stevens Park in Stourbridge. He is officially recognised as a British hero of the Holocaust.
Oh, wow.
Before he retired locally, Major Foley was an MI6 officer who worked undercover as a passport control officer in the British consulate in Berlin. Major Foley saved the lives of over 10,000 Jews in Germany during the 1920s and 1930s by providing visas to those who feared persecution under Nazi racial laws.
Wow, what an incredible moment
Unbelievable
there.
story, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Also on Tuesday, Kensington Palace announced a big trip for William. He is taking on Africa. Where's he going and why? What's the story?
Prince William will visit Namibia, Tanzania and Kenya from Monday the 24th through Sunday the 30th of September. The private working trip is being made in his capacity of United for Wildlife President and TUS patron ahead of the 2018 Illegal Wildlife Trade Conference conference in London. Prince William has visited Tanzania and Kenya with the Tusk Trust in the past. However, this will be the first official visit to Namibia by a member of the British royal family since Queen Elizabeth went there in 1991. While in the region, Prince William will undertake a small number of official engagements at the request of Her Majesty's government. As Colonel of the Irish Guards, he will also visit 1st Battalion, the Irish Guards Battle Group, in training in Kenya.
Staying very busy there. Well, guys, it's no secret, though. We love the royals around here at People. We love their weddings, their world travels, the palaces, the fashion statements, everything. We are here for it. But I think our favorite moments are when we catch them acting just like us, in some way at all, right?
Some way.
Prince Harry admitted the most hilarious and very relatable thing this week. It has to do with his grandmother, the Queen. Tell us about this.
Yeah, Prince Harry let his sense of humour shine while speaking to a group of hospitality professionals from the Caribbean visiting the Queen's London residence of Buckingham Palace in the upcoming documentary Queen of the World. Apparently, Harry said to them, quote, "Have you bumped into the Queen yet? If you suddenly bump into her in the corridor, don't panic. I know you will. We all do. Royals, they're just like us."
Just bump it into the Queen.
If he does run into her in the halls of the palace, according to official protocol, Prince Harry has to bow to the Queen. Interestingly, you don't, Jeremy, as you're not one of her subjects. I have to curse.
I get out of it. Okay,
yeah, you
perfect.
Do. I don't. Harry and other members of the royal family are featured in the film about Queen Elizabeth and the Commonwealth, the family of nations linked to the UK. The series is scheduled to air just before Harry and Meghan head to Australia, New Zealand, Fiji and Tonga on their first official tour of Commonwealth nations.
Love hearing that, and Harry and Meghan are usually a total fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's nice to see, though, that they have the down-to-earth sides as well. A source tells People Meghan has some tricks to stay out of the public eye when she wants to go incognito. What are these tricks that are not going to be a secret much longer?
No, Meghan spends most of her weekends in the Cotswolds with Harry. When she does venture out to Pilates or to get her hair done, she normally goes incognito under a baseball cap. She's also a regular visitor to the Whole Foods near Kensington Palace. Her acting skills are coming in handy.
Visiting the Whole Foods incognito, I love that. All right, you wouldn't even know that was her in the photos if you weren't looking really closely. Imogen, it's good to hear from you. Thank you.
Good to see.
All right, in honor of Amelia Clarke and Henry Golding's upcoming Christmas film, we've been asking about your favorite Christmas movies. Let's take a look.
Oh, what is in the lead?
Elf takes
Love
it.
actually is putting on a good race. I can't believe It's a Wonderful Life, so everyone needs to go watch It's a Wonderful Life and renew that
And we'll
spirit.
retake the poll. We have a few months till Christmas anyway.
Thank God. Yeah, I can't believe we're talking about it,
I know.
actually. But we are, anyway.
Well, we'll be back with another question of the day tomorrow, so definitely tune in for that.
We're very excited for this as well coming up tomorrow. More from culinary expert Andrew Zimmern. He's filling us in on his new show, Big Food Truck Tip, and even giving us a taste of his favorite food truck specialties. You don't want to miss that.
The food was very, very good. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.